Everyone, my name is Leonard Williams with ZMOP Business Solutions, and I have the honor of introducing a phenomenal speaker and my best friend, my good friend. He's my bestie. Bestie. BFF. Yeah, well, okay. So, I was just put on the spot, as Bill Gray said, so please bear with me as I read this. In a perfect world, I would have got it a week ago and had time to commit it to memory and look all good and all that. So I'm going to just read it. Victor Irvin Jenkins found out early that he was born to speak. But nobody in his family knew that as he was growing up. In fact, as a child, he was told to speak only when spoken to. But that did not work. He was dubbed Mouth Almighty at a very early age. Eventually, he found Toastmasters, where there were lots of people who loved to speak. That organization provided him a place to hone his craft, which brings him here today. Finding a way to leverage is something you love to benefit the world is a secret of life. And him finding that outlet led directly to the birth of Creative Spotlight. It is a place where one can go to embrace that part of himself or herself that loves to speak and that part that basks in the spotlight. He is married to the former Della Reese DeLuke. Yeah. Okay. And has no children. Join me in welcoming him as he speaks on Better Than I Was.
That's how real.
There you go. You want some music? There you go. Do that one more time.
Look at it.
Okay, that's very, very good. You know, real professional speakers have music booming when they come to the stage. Booming, and they come out, sometimes they come out dancing, but I didn't want to dance today because I didn't want to wrinkle my suit. So, the first thing I like to ask everyone is, how's everybody doing? Well, I'm disappointed in my bestie because I expected everybody else to get the answer wrong, but I didn't expect my bestie to get the answer wrong. So I'm going to ask him again, bestie, how you doing?
Better than I was, but not as good as I'm going to be.
Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. See, that is really the answer. Who knows that it's important for the words that come out of your mouth? Right? If you are feeling not your usual self and you start saying how bad you feel, don't you start to feel bad? Right. I think it's boring, downright sinful. When somebody asks you how you're doing, for you to just come up with the same old routine, boring answer. Oh, I'm fine. How does that make you feel to say you're fine? It doesn't make you feel fine. It's a lie. It's what it is. So I am committed to getting better and better every day. And if you're not, you will be by the time I finish talking. Because the object of the game is to get better. No matter how you is now. No matter how you are now. Like, for instance, I got A's in English and I still say how you is now. I'm not going to do that again, right? Because I'm going to get better. Those of us that aspire to be professional speakers, we really have to value the things that come out of our mouth. Because the things that come out of our mouth, they speak to us first, don't they? They speak to us first and then they speak to other people. So for me, speaking to myself was a big deal. I'll tell you a little bit more about that as time goes on. But you must get accustomed to the fact that the words that come out of your mouth are important. Now, a few people raised their hand the moment they want to be professional speakers, right? But one thing about professional speakers, they have to be fairly amusing, right? They don't have to be as funny as me, but they have to be fairly amusing. So I want to take a moment to tell you that when I'm finished, I'm not going to be passing around the collection plate. No matter how much you want to sell, amen, when I get done talking. So, speaking is actually the thing that I live to do. And because it's the thing that I live to do, that's what I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing. For those of you that aspire to be speakers, you have to understand that whatever it is that you choose to do, you gotta love doing it. You gotta love doing it. And you gotta love doing speaking, especially because the truth of the matter is that most human beings, they don't want to listen to you. They really don't. I don't want to listen to you. You don't want to listen to me. So if you are going to be a speaker, you have to find a way to be engaging. You have to find a way by the sheer strength of your personality, by the sheer strength of your presence, by that personal magnetism. You got to find a way to make people want to listen to you. And there are a number of ways to do that. First of all, you got to develop yourself as a speaker. Now, some people think that being a speaker and being a good speaker, it happens over the course of time. Like, I can speak in front of 2 people. Well, I guess I can speak in front of 10 people. Well, maybe 100 people. Yeah. And then you gauge yourself by how big the audience is you can speak to. Is that right? Well, I'm here to tell you that your development as a speaker doesn't have anything to do with how big the audience is. It has to do with what you are thinking. It has to do with what you're thinking. Like, you could be thinking, man, I'm great at this. You could be thinking that. Or you could be thinking, God, I hope that they don't mind listening to me. But whatever it is that you're thinking, that's really the thing that's going to make the difference in how you perform when you're in the front of a whole bunch of people. Now, if you are new to speaking, you have to consider what I call the conscious competence formula. So when you first start speaking, when you first get in front of a room, man, I'm doing something wrong. This is not right. And you're aware of that. So you're spending your time and energy trying to work with that, right? You're trying to make sure that you're saying it just right, trying to make sure you're not talking too fast, or that you're not talking too slow. And then you get to the point when you're a little better. And you know that you're better than you used to be, so you speak with a little authority now. You stand up straight when you speak, right? But still, even though you know that you're doing it right, you still get a little distracted when you're looking at the audience because you're trying to make sure that they're doing the right things and that you're doing the right things, right? This pretty much makes sense, doesn't it? Well, then comes that part, the unconscious competence. That's when you're doing it right. You don't even have to think about it. You can do James Brown in front of the room. You can spin around like that. Really and truly, you know that what you're doing is working. You know that you are saying it like you want to say it. And so you're able to concentrate and look at the audience and just kind of do what you're doing, the automatic pilot. And some people that are not really into what you're saying, and you can go and work with them. See, like I just did right just then. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go from conscious incompetence all the way to unconscious competence. Now, on your way to doing that, it's not as easy and as simple as what you say, because the things that's in your head is really what's guiding your actions. The stuff that's in your head that you didn't even put in your head. You didn't even know it was in there, but guess what? It's in there. And if you haven't actively and dug in and gone in there and take that stuff out, well, the stuff is still in there, and it's still ruling you, and it's still controlling you. What's it? Is the camera on me?
Yes, it is.
Right. Each day through my window, I watch her as she passes by. And I say to myself, you're such a lucky guy. To have a girl like her is truly a dream come true. Out of all the fellows in the world, she belongs to you. But it was just my imagination once again. Come on, sing it. Y'all know the song. Running away with me. It was just my imagination running away with me. So here's the point. None of us wrote the words down and sat down and tried to learn the words to It's Just My Imagination, did we? But it's in there, isn't it? And for some of us, we won't even know the words of the song until we hear the music. When the music comes on, then we remember the words of the song. So similarly, there's things that's inside of you that was put inside of you years and years and years ago, and when the time comes, when you get a little bit of a trigger, those things come back to you. And if those things are close to your heart, then they're going to impact what kind of speaker you are. They're going to impact what kind of person you are. They're going to impact what you are like in the front of the room. And one of those things come up when you are doing a speech. Like somebody comes in and they look like Uncle Harry. Now, I'm not saying you look like Uncle Harry. I was just using it as an example. So somebody comes in and they look like Uncle Harry, and you and Uncle Harry didn't have a good relationship. Guess what? That's going to stop you. So the point I'm trying to make about that whole thing is, as you build yourself and try to become a great speaker, you really got to reel it in and take control over your emotions, which is not a very easy thing to do for some people. Like, for instance, if you're in the middle of a speech like I am right now, and you forget what you wanted to say like I just did just then, you got to find a way to manage that and get yourself back on track. Because the whole point of Just My Imagination story was to tell you that you can't take for granted that you are over those things that have happened to you in the past. And there are many of them. So where was I? I was talking about you, wasn't I? You and those of you who want to be a speaker. Actually, this is part of my speech. You know why it's part of my speech? Because many times when you're in the front of the room, you use words that have no meaning. And the reason that you use those words is because the silence is uncomfortable. Anybody know which words I'm talking about? You know, words like that. So when you are in the front of the room and you don't use words like that, well, for one, you sound like a pretty polished speaker. And two, when you do get to a place where you are not sure what you want to say next, you can have some quiet in the front of the room and not lose your cool and realize that you're not going to die in the front of the room. So the topic that you want to speak on, we'll help you hone that topic. We'll help you hone your delivery. We'll help you get to that place where when it's time for you to stop talking, you have to find a way to wind it down. And it's time for me to stop talking now. So anyway, I want to leave you with continue to get better. Create the spotlight can help you continue to get better. And create the spotlight is going to help you embrace that part of you that does crave the spotlight. Because as far as I'm concerned, inside of everybody is a cat just like me that just can't stand and not leave the front of the room. He just wants to lie on him all the time. And I want to encourage you to feed that person, because that person is going to get you paid. The person in the spotlight is always the one that people pay attention to. And the person in the spotlight is generally the one that's cashing checks. And I am addicted to the applause, so let's have some.